But more wonderful than the lore of old men and the lore of books is the secret lore of ocean. Blue, green, gray, white or black, smooth, ruffled or mountainous, that ocean is not silent. All my days have I watched it and listened to it, and I know it well. At first it told to me only the plain little tales of calm beaches and near ports, but with the years it grew more friendly and spoke of other things, of things more strange and more distant in space and in time. Sometimes at twilight, the gray vapors of the horizon have parted to grant me glimpses of the ways beyond, and sometimes at night the deep waters of the sea have grown clear and phosphorescent to grant me glimpses of the ways beneath. And these glimpses have been as often of the ways that were and the ways that might be as of the ways that are, for ocean is more ancient than the mountains, and freighted with the memories and the dreams of time. H.P. Lovecraft, The Transition of H.P. Lovecraft, The Road to Madness. Hi, hello, and welcome again everybody to another episode of Natural Juan. This time around we're going to discuss three very mysterious and amazing creatures from the deep ocean. These are the hagfish, the octopus, and the Siphonophore. Three animals whose nature, composition, and appearance are bizarre enough to have probably inspired H.P. Lovecraft when creating his many monstrous gods like Cthulhu. In any case, before everything else, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications if you'd like to see more content like this. Also, quick shout out to Mr. Jonathan Green, my patron in Patreon. If you'd also like to support my channel and what I do here, you can check out my Patreon information in the description below, along with Gcash and PayPal information for making quick, one-time donations. With all that out of the way, let's dive deep into the oceans to get a glimpse of three very mysterious animals. The ocean is filled with many amazing animals, from the utterly massive blue whales, that are the largest animals in the world, to the mantis shrimp, whose punch is as powerful as the chemical reactions in a firearm. However, there are also creatures that inspire disgust or fear, such is the case with sharks, who have gotten an unsavory reputation because of the novel Jaws by Peter Benchley, and the snake-like moray eel, who has been given a fearsome legend by divers. Indeed, as H.P. Lovecraft would say, one of the greatest sources of fear is fear of the unknown, and there is so much that is unknown about the oceans today. What's sad is that while scientists already know quite a bit about the moon, much of the seas, especially their deepest parts, remain shrouded in mystery. So much so that anything that emerges from those depths may seem alien and disturbing to some. This is a showcase of three of the ocean's most mysterious and somewhat creepy residents. First up is the hagfish or slime eel. Contrary to the name, it is not an eel, although it does look a bit like one. Belonging to the class Myxini, hagfish are related to lampreys, and both are noted for being some of the most primitive fish on Earth. As already mentioned, while they may resemble eels at least in terms of body shape, they lack scales and jaws, which is a hallmark of modern-day bony fish like tuna, groupers, and yes, eels. Instead, they have baggy pink skin and have mouth parts that are designed to rasp at food rather than bite and chew. Hagfish also lack the eyes present in more developed fish, meaning they can only tell the difference between light and dark, and also have only one nostril, sadly enough. However, what makes hagfish so notable or memorable is their production and excretion of a strange mucus that envelops their bodies. Comprised of their body's waste and yes, mucus, slime eels secrete this slime constantly, much the same way a snail or slug leaves a trail of slime wherever they go. That said, this slime does have a lot of use for the hagfish in that its vile stench and taste serves to discourage predators, and it makes the creature very slippery and difficult to handle. There's also the fact that slime can easily clog the gills and respiratory systems of potential predators in the sea, making it a bad choice for a meal for most other sea creatures. Hagfish live just about anywhere where fish can be found and feed mainly on dead and decaying fish and other sea animals. That said, they tend to prefer waters with a high salt content and can survive in areas where there seems to be very low oxygen content. They are frequently found in whale fall sites or places where whales have died and sunk to the bottom of the sea. Thanks to their strange mouth parts and their ability to tie themselves into knots, they are able to pull off chunks of flesh from the carcasses that sink to the ocean floor. They can also use their slime to make it easier for them to just burrow into the said carcasses to get to the organs inside. Next up is the octopus, one of the more popular creatures found in the sea, and one of the many inspirations for Lovecraft's Cthulhu. Having a bulbous body that most take for their head, and 8 long arms or tentacles, octopuses belong to the class Cephalopoda, meaning head-foot, with their nearest relatives being squid, cuttlefish, and nautiluses, which, in turn, falls under the phylum Mollusca, which includes mollusks like snails and clams. The bizarre shape and nature of octopuses have inspired much of mythology, with Kraken of Nordic myth, beings who existed before the current universe according to Polynesian creation myths, the dreaded Eco-Torso of Finnish legends, and Squidward! That said, the octopus is far more complicated and interesting than any monster or cartoon character, as fact, more often than not, is stranger than fiction. Octopuses are known for their strange abilities, such as their talent for mimicry and camouflage, sometimes going as far to even change their skin texture to imitate their surroundings. Notable too is their lack of an internal skeleton, allowing them to enter tiny openings to reach their prey, which include small openings in caves and rocks and bottles. However, what makes octopuses so interesting is their intelligence that continues to fascinate scientists around the world. Through their sharp intellect, octopuses are able to use abilities to their full extent, allowing them to hunt efficiently and even brave the edges of their territories to time their attacks against prey. Octopuses live throughout the world's oceans thanks to their various adaptations, from their boneless body structure, their cognizant tentacles, meaning each tentacle is able to act on its own without commands from its brain, and their surprising intelligence. In the deeper parts of the ocean, even more bizarre species of octopus can be found, from the mimic octopus that can look just like anything in the sea, to the blanket octopus which looks, well, like a blanket. As time goes on, and the more mankind explores the deep ocean, we might discover even stranger species of octopus. Last, but most certainly not least on this list of strange sea creatures, is that of the Siphonophore, perhaps one of the weirdest groups of animals out there in the ocean, and probably one of the things that really scares the guy who made this video. Siphonophores occur in warmer parts of the ocean, and belong to the phylum Cnidaria, and are considered coelenteroids, creatures related to jellyfish, anemone, and corals. A good example of a common Siphonophore is that of the Portuguese man-of-war, which can be often found floating on the waves using a gas-filled sack to sail across the sea like a warship from the age of sail. Meanwhile, the bag can also be inflated and deflated to act like the ballast tank of a submarine, allowing it to sink or rise as needed. However, the Portuguese man-of-war is not the strangest Siphonophore in the sea, and is not the only one of its kind. In the deepest parts of the ocean is the Praia dubia, the largest among the species of Siphonophores, and probably the longest animal in the world. It is only behind the blue whale due to one very strange detail which we will discuss in a moment. The truth of the matter is that Siphonophores aren't just one creature, but are actually animals that are comprised of many other animals. Think, for example, a swarm of bees that have somehow banded together to become one giant flying creature, or perhaps thinking of each of your organs being a separate animal and, once pulled out of you, will struggle to return and reintegrate with your body. That is the true nature of the Siphonophore. Due to their strange physical properties and the fact that they are multiple creatures composing a larger animal, the various shapes of Siphonophores can be extremely diverse from species to species, from being elaborate strings of creatures either swimming in the open ocean or crawling along the sea floor to looking like common jellyfish, to something that looks like it was torn away from someone's nightmares. In any case, the Portuguese man-of-war, the Praia dubia, and the pyrosome are some of but a few species of Siphonophores that have been discovered so far. It is estimated that, as scientists continue to brave the depths of the ocean. More species of Siphonophores will be discovered as these creatures, much like jellyfish, are mostly water in their composition and are thus highly resistant to the pressures of the deep ocean. And there you have it, 3 of the ocean's strangest and most mysterious denizens. That said, here is one more strange denizens of the deep that has been recently captured on camera. I actually have no idea what type of creature this is. Suggestions as to the true nature of this creature have ranged from that of a possible mermaid or terrestrial shark that can somehow imitate humans. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Natural Juan. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. If you'd like to support my channel and what I do here, check out my Patreon information in the description below, along with information regarding Gcash and PayPal for one-time donations. Natural Juan,